put those hands together for Michael Ross! Great to be here. There we go. Well, I'm a bit of what you might call a stoner. The first time I got high was the summer before my freshman year of college. I went to Central Park with some friends, smoked a blunt, and went back to my place. And my mom was home, and she smelled the smoke on us. And here's what you need to understand about my mom. One of the most compassionate people around, but doesn't know when she's being a bit too much. So she's like, "Michael, are you hungry?" "No, Mom." "Michael, you seem paranoid. Are you alright?" "No, Mom." "Yes, Mom." "Michael, are you experiencing mild synesthesia?" "No!" "And what the fuck is synesthesia?" It was a big shock for my mom that I started smoking weed because growing up, I was a good kid. Never had to worry about any of my friends peer pressuring me into doing drugs. I wish I had the same relationship with my parents. Let me explain. From the time I was 5 years old, I was on cocktails of uppers, downers, benzodiazepines, amphetamines, antidepressants, anticonvulsants, antipsychotics, and sympatholytics, all to address a horrible, debilitating condition known as ADD. So, if I couldn't sit still in school, ADD. I was in a bad mood, ADD. And my mom, though, she was clever at getting me to take my ADD meds, because if I wasn't willing to do it, she would sneak it into a bowl of vanilla ice cream with rainbow sprinkles. In the process, she did for Adderall what Joe Camel did for cigarettes. I will say this about my mom, though, that she does a lot of... This makes things easier. My mom, and my dad for that matter, are so square. They do not know what unground, unburned ganja smells like. Let me explain. I was in China, and I bought this beautiful glass antique bottle, which I thought would make a great decoration and be a discreet place to hide my stash. I brought it home, I put some of my shit in there. One time my mom looked into the bottle and saw it, and she asked me, "Michael, what's this weird smelling stuff in here?" I figured this is a great time to fuck with her, so I tell her, "Oh, this is a really rare Chinese herb. You can't get it here in the US. She tells me, "What's it called?" I fuck with her a bit, give her the Chinese name for cannabis. "Dama." She asked me, "Is there a rough English translation?" I say, "Sour diesel." Whoa. Mind fart?
Yep.
Yes, but as a stoner, I will say this, there is one sizable segment of the stoner community that I despise. Those self-righteous, environmentalist cocksuckers who'd rather we live under 7th century Saudi-style Sharia law than let a few polar bears die. You know what? Fuck the polar bears. What the fuck have they done for us besides entertain us at Disney and get us to buy Coca-Cola? And I have another question for these environmentalist cocksuckers. When you're lighting up your herb, or when you're generating smoke, you don't think ever so slightly you might be contributing to global warming? And no, your bong does not filter out the greenhouse gases. I've also had some pretty interesting dealers. I had one dealer who was a Scientologist. I found out, I went up to his place and saw all these copies of Dianetics. But I'm a social guy, trying to make a conversation with him. So I asked him, "So, I see you're a big fan of L. Ron Hubbard. How exactly do you reconcile your occupation with your religious system?" He tells me, "It's all cool, man. We're reformed." But the craziest one I ever had, my friend referred me to him, told me, "This guy, great guy, nice guy, great product, great service, but a little eccentric." I say, "What do you mean by eccentric?" He tells me he kind of thinks he's a vampire. I ask him, Dracula vampire or Twilight vampire? But it's it's neither, but so he gives me the address. I shoot him a text asking for an eighth. Go over to his place, meet him. He takes me into, and he says, starts measuring out the product and says to me, 1 gram, 2 grams, 3 grams, 3.5 grams, 1/8. I see that I still have plenty of time left. I'm done with that routine, so I might as well end with some one-liners and impressions. I went to the doctor yesterday. He tells me, he tells me, okay, Michael, what brought you here? I tell him, Doc, I think I got a cold and hypochondria. I went to the sperm bank last week to make a donation. They asked me, would you like a magazine? I say, you mean I can't make a direct deposit? And now for my final joke of the evening is an impression of Gilbert Gottfried narrating a documentary. Here we go. Lions are a lot like Jewish couples. The women do all the work, all the hunting, but they feel the need to put the man in charge. So they let him eat first.